Dynamic Seminars, the management and training consultancy presents Southern Africa's leading success lecturers.
Welcome to the psychology of customer service. People, I have a question for you. Are you delivering good service? Now, the question is being asked to you as an individual. I'm not asking the company. I'm not asking your organization. I'm asking you as an individual. Are you delivering good service? May I see, please, with a show of hands, those people that are delivering good service? Let me see your hands. Come on. Now, hang on, people. We need to have ourselves a signaling system for today. For today, this is going to mean yes. This is no, don't know what this means. All right. People, who here is delivering good service? Let me see your hands. That's fabulous. Okay. Then I have to ask you the question, how the heck do we know that? And this is a major problem, people, because when it comes to customer service is one of those things that we think we're doing right unless we're doing it very, very, very wrong. Yeah? It's one of those things that is either just not measured at all or it's fallen totally through the cracks and everybody's crying about it. How would we know that we're delivering good service? Let me ask you a question. Would you like to have a short little test here today to determine how good your customer service levels are as of today? Now, people, important when I talk with you, can we have a signaling system? Yes for today can mean yeah. No is the, and if you're thoroughly confused, roll your head around a little bit. All right. People, would you like a little test to find out how good you are today? Yes. Lovely. I'm going to ask you 10 questions. I'm going to ask you to score them according to the key that you see on the screen. By the way, people, don't bother making a note of the key. It is going to be appearing on each one of the slides, so you don't have to bother about making a note of it. All right? I'm going to be asking you 10 questions, and I want you to rate it according to that. So as you look at a word or a question or phrase, ask yourself, am I incredibly, fantastically, unbelievably good at that? If you are, score 5 points, right? If you know that you're actually quite pathetically fraught at that one, score 1 point. And if not pathetically fraught, only just plain fraught, go for a 2, right? Choose a number that is best going to work for you. Are you all happy with that? Yes. All right. People, if you are sitting next to a colleague, or even worse, sitting next to your manager, put your hand over your sheet of paper and score very small, okay? No. Now, people, let me just tell you how the question is going to work. So what I'm going to be asking for is I'm going to be asking you for honesty. Right? The way that the question is going to work, I am not going to ask anybody what is your score. Your score is your own private score. Right? There's going to be 10 questions. The best that you can do is 5 points for each one. We're going to total them up, which means that the best possible score you can get is going to be 50 points. Right? If you are not going to be honest with yourself, can I make a suggestion, people? Write down the number 50 on your sheet of paper and just leave it at that. All right. For it to have any meaning, what do we need? We need honesty. Okay, now, the other thing about the questionnaire, please, don't score it until we have spoken it through. All right? Because as you see a word or phrase, you're going to say to yourself, 5. We talk about, maybe a 4, 3, right? So wait until we've spoken the word through, at which point we can then score it. Right. Question number 1, are you helpful? Are you helpful? So how do you answer that? Of course, 5. Hang on 1 second. When I say are you helpful, I'm talking about all of the time. Not talking about some of the time, I'm talking about all of the time. People, picture the scene. The time is now 5 minutes to 5 o'clock on a Thursday afternoon. Friday's a public holiday and your spouse is parked in front of the building and the whole car's packed up with boerewors, braaivleis, beer and all the lekker goodies, and you're going out now for a beautiful 3-day long weekend, and one of those walks in. People, when I say one of those, do you know what I'm talking about? Can I tell you just a little bit about your customer base? And by the way, it doesn't matter what business you're in, it's all the same. You're going to find that 80% of the customers that you find are going to be what we call normal. Now, you might well ask the question, well, what does normal mean? Please don't worry, when you see the other two, you will understand what normal means, right? You're going to find that about 15% of your customers are what we call your TBs. Those are your teddy bears. The most incredible, warm, caring, sharing kinds of people. They walk in at 5 to 5 and they see the disappointment on your face and say, oh, I'm so sorry, my darling, I didn't realize it was so late. Don't worry, I'll come back Monday morning. They are beautiful people, but then 5% of the customers that you're going to meet are what we call your HGs. Dis nou die harde gatte. And they are the most difficult sort of individuals to deal with at any time. The time is now 5 minutes to 5 o'clock before a long weekend. Are you helpful? You see, people, to be helpful at 10 o'clock in the morning, everything's nice and chilled. You've got one customer, you're not under pressure, easy to be helpful. I'm talking about, are you helpful all of the time? Let's just fast forward now. The time is now 5 minutes past 8 o'clock. On the Monday morning after the long weekend, and you have just arrived at work with the great-grandmother of all Babalasses. And one of those walks in, people, are you helpful? Because again, what I'm saying is it's easy.